Excellencies, distinguished guests, good evening and welcome to this very special occasion. Allow me first to thank my good friend and the Director General of IRENA, Francesca La Camera, for inviting me to give opening remarks on what is, in fact, a double celebration. Tomorrow marks the 15th anniversary of the International Renewable Energy Agency and the first International Day for Clean Energy. Excellencies, there are indeed many reasons to be positive and optimistic about the development and promotion of renewable energy around the world. Last month, COP28 delivered an unprecedented agreement known as the UAE Consensus. For the first time in history, parties agreed to a just, orderly, and responsible transition away from fossil fuels and set specific time-bound targets for the expansion of renewable energy. By agreeing a triple renewable capacity by 2030, the world took a decisive step towards addressing climate change and keeping 1.5 within reach. And let me be clear, the advocacy and science-based analysis of IRENA made a valuable contribution to the inclusion of this target in the final text. And for this, I thank you. In fact, the whole world thanks you. Excellencies, when the United Arab Emirates put itself forward to host IRENA here in Abu Dhabi, it took many by surprise. Some were skeptical about our intentions. Yet, our leadership proved the doubters wrong, not by what they said, but what they did. They created one of the world's largest renewable energy investors through Masdar, built the biggest single-site solar plants here at home, and pioneered wind and solar projects abroad. And as hosts of IRENA, we have provided a platform to promote supportive policies, advance knowledge, and share best practices for the faster adoption of clean and renewable technologies. Over the last 15 years, IRENA has played an important role in the seven-fold expansion of the clean energy sector. During this period, the price of solar has dropped over 90% and wind by 70%. And last year saw the greatest increase in solar capacity ever recorded, with more than 510 gigawatts added to the grid. This is great progress, but it is still short of the threefold increase that the world needs to achieve by 2030. And the critical success factor to make up this gap is finance. While over $1.7 trillion was invested in clean energies last year, this will need to grow to $4.5 trillion by 2030. Critically, finance must be made more available, more accessible, and more affordable, and in particular, across the Global South. For vulnerable communities and many emerging economies, access to sustainable energy is basically about access to finance. This will require comprehensive reform of the international financial system. MDBs must be adequately capitalized and offer more concessional capital, and private capital must be applied at scale alongside government and development sources of investment. This is the thinking behind Altera, launched by the UAE at COP28 as the world's largest catalytic private investor that is 100% focused on solutions to climate change. Altera is a $30 billion fund that aims to leverage $250 billion in investments by 2030. This won't fill the gap by itself, yet it is a model that can and should be replicated. Most importantly, we must adopt a new mindset that views clean energy investment as a true opportunity to create sustainable socio-economic growth, new industries, and new jobs. Excellencies, friends, the role of finance in a just and equitable energy transition will remain a top priority at COP29 as countries focus on setting the new collective quantified goal. And as IRENA builds on its 15-year legacy of achievements, I call on all of you to continue to promote the role of policy, technology, and especially finance in accelerating the adoption of renewable energy. Your voice, your advocacy, and your active engagement has never been more needed. I thank you for the opportunity.